Hey, hey.
Hello.
Sorry, I was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and we have Becky here already. My fault. I meant to bring Becky in later. I was trying to do a few things. But hi, Becky. We're going to get to you in a second.
Yes, okay. Quietly.
Very
Right.
quickly.
Very
There you
cool. All right. So
Sorry.
Becky's gonna disappear for a moment, but she's still here. So don't worry.
It's a hint. I
That was a
apologize.
spoiler. We spoiled it.
No, I know. All
How
right,
are you
cool.
doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to do a variety of things behind the scenes with us. Yeah, all that good stuff. So you might see me doing this a lot, like looking over here at my other monitor, but that is just what it is. But yeah, hey, everyone, welcome, man. We have just finished our whole 2025 run of submissions, and wow, we have actually broken records. And so I think we definitely want to thank all of our submitting filmmakers for trusting us with your passion. It is not something we take lightly. And you definitely make our jobs hard because we only could take a certain ratio of movies that come in. And so it's a very, it's going to be, this is where the really the hard part comes in, which is the deciding process for both shorts and features.
Yeah, we were chatting with some of our colleagues that work at other festivals, and we talk about, the way we program is we program by creating blocks of films. We don't do the drama block or the documentary block or anything like that. We try to curate, what we call mixtapes, and that's where the real, for us, some of the hard work is finding films that work together well, that actually have ebbs and flows in the block, that you're not feeling the same emotion the entire time. So what's great is that we have such great films come in that it makes it where, hey, let's pull one from here and pull one from here and do that. So what becomes difficult is there's too many good films that we want to program, and there's just not enough time at the theaters over the weekend. So yeah, we got our work cut out for us.
Most definitely.
And speaking,
we're trying to get out. Now, don't hold us to this. I mean, we tend to hit it every time, but we're trying to get our announcements of official selections out by, I think, the first week of June.
Yeah, is our target. June. Yeah. So definitely, if you haven't heard from us in late May, give us some patience. It might be early June this year. Cool. But yeah, that's just because we have so many submissions this year. And again, thank you so much for trusting us to view your work.
I want to hit something real quick. I mentioned it before. This is just a fun little thing that I am going to be doing, which is a 5K with Unbound in Waco. So for any Wacoans that want to jump in with us, and I will say this, that's my aspiration, but I have not been able to really train as much as I wanted to. So it'll be fun. If I walk it, I walk it. It's whatever it is. But come down, enjoy hanging out and supporting a very good cause with Unbound for this basically Light Up the Dark 5K. What's cool about it is, like, I hate getting up early in the morning. This is like right after dark, right after sunset. So it's a really cool, you're already loose from your day and everything. So I would highly recommend anyone who wants to join in, go in and join the Waco Indie team. And we'll see you there.
Yeah, and that's not this Saturday, but that's next Saturday.
That's next Saturday. In fact, that is the day after our guest will join us for the Waco Movie Club. So Friday night.
Yeah, so we'll do a quick overview before we get to Becky. So Samuel, if you have the opportunity to pull up our website, and you can check out what we have for upcoming events. The next upcoming event is our Waco Movie Club. It's the April Movie Club. That is Unbroken, and so we'll chat with Becky about that in a few moments. After that, we just announced that we're doing a Waco Movie Club at Dichotomy Coffee and Spirits. And we'll be hosting a discussion of, there we go, events calendar. Yep. What's happening in Waco? There's always something happening. We're going to be discussing The Matrix in May. And that's going to be at Dichotomy. Love that. It's kind of the dichotomy. It's like two things. And The Matrix is like kind of two things. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah. Oh, spoiler. Yeah. If you didn't know. But yeah, if you didn't know about this 25-year-old movie. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Professor Greg Jurels with Baylor FDM, he's going to be joining us for that discussion as well. He's going to be leading the discussion into the hero's journey. And that was really awesome. If you came to our February event, he did a great job talking about Mulholland Drive. And then here we were chatting back and forth when we were texting about making these arrangements. He was talking about how, both films are about dreams. And I said, yeah, but Matrix has a little more kung fu than Mulholland Drive.
Yep. And then
and then in June we have a mixer for everyone who's interested in filmmaking and film lovers. You're all invited to come to our Creatives Mixer. And that's for filmmakers, writers, actors, streamers, directors, all those sorts of things. That's going to be 7 p.m. or 7:30, I should say, at the Performing Arts Community Center. Get to know the other creative folks in the Waco community. Come and have some drinks and meet some cool folks.
Very much, very much. Speaking of meeting cool folks, I'd like to bring Becky in. Hi, Becky.
Hey, there she is.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for being patient with us and hiding in the shadows for a bit. That's kind of what sound designers do, right?
Oh yeah, hide. A lot of hiding in the dark. Yeah.
Yeah. So for everyone who doesn't know, Becky Sullivan is not fairly new to the area. She's been here for a little while, but before she was in Waco, she worked in Hollywood, and she, in fact, still does work in Hollywood. I asked her earlier today, tell me about what she's working on. She said, I can't. So that's fun. That means it must be something good. But Becky, kind of tell us what sound designers do.
Well, there's a couple of different categories. There's a sound editor, there's a sound supervisor, and then there's a sound designer. And sometimes the sound supervisor is also the sound designer. So in those categories, we call them different things because they do have different jobs and do have different job responsibilities. And so a lot of times there's a sound supervisor, which is what I've done, and that person is in charge of the soundscape of the whole film. You're in charge of bringing the director's vision to the screen, and also bringing your own stamp on that sound, right? Yep. Designers usually are hired by the sound supervisor, and those guys, a sound designer, guy or girl, sound designers take certain aspects of the film, certain pieces of the film, and design sound. There's sound editors who are sound effects editors, and sound effects editors are doing the hard sounds, or what we call hard effects, which is gunfire, helicopter, car door, car by. That's a hard sound effect. But a designer is like in the Matrix, anything that has a supernatural feel to it, or just
almost like created sound.
That was a bad example, but yeah, a creative sound that you're taking so many different things and warping them together to give you the design of the Iron Man costume starting up and flying, or that type of thing. So it's a design element where you're morphing things together to create the sound.
Yeah, I think everyone's seen like the Star Wars where they're going through and they're like hitting things and then they're modifying it. That's kind of what you're talking about.
Right. So that's a designer. And like I said, the sound supervisor usually hires that designer and then gives them a list of tasks to say, I want you to handle these things. Mm-hmm. And then a sound editor, okay, there's guys that cut Foley. There's
can you describe Foley for our audience, for those who don't know?
Foley is, there's so many things to sound, right?
Sure. Gotcha.
And so when you're making a movie, you're mostly just putting a mic on an actor. You're not looking for every sound that's happening in the scene. You're putting a mic on an actor and hoping to God that you get that right, and that
like isolated sound.
You get the voice recorded. Nice. So all the things like this sound, glasses, phone up and down, cups up and down, footsteps, all that stuff is not recorded on the set, we don't care about that stuff.
Right.
We're going to go into a Foley stage and we're going to re-record it, get a nice clean recording of it, and then, tediously cut that into sync.
Yes.
But there's an art to Foley that is, there's certain people that are Foley artists that really have the craft down, and then others don't. They're just kind of slapping it together. But Foley is an art to be.
Yeah,
Foley artists, they call them.
Definitely. I actually have your IMDb page up here. Let me share that screen. You guys, everyone should go check it out. And so you were known for a variety of things. Here's some of the highlights there. God, you did the greatest beer whenever. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so obviously Woman King, Unbroken, which is what we'll be talking about next Friday. You did The Big Short. That is so cool. That is just that's an amazing film. Obviously Field of Dreams is stellar. But so sorry, Lewis, I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, since you're kind of talking about that, Becky, how did you get started working in the industry?
I always loved films as a kid. I always went to movies, read books about movies, always loved movies. And okay, I'll admit it, I didn't go to college. Okay. I didn't go to college. I knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy that needed somebody to answer phones at a front desk on Hollywood Boulevard. And it was a sound editing company. And I said, I can answer phones, because I know in Hollywood, it's, there's a million ways to get into Hollywood.
Yeah.
And one of them is starting at the bottom, which is what I did. I started answering the phones. So I would answer the phones from 9 to 7, but then from 7 to midnight, 2, 3 in the morning, whenever, I'd stay and work with the editors. And I'm talking about going and getting them coffee, getting them cigarettes, emptying their trash, doing anything that these artists, really, they're all craftsmen artists, needed, because they were shut into a small cutting room all day, right, in the dark, banging away sounds and doing all these things. And I was there to just help, go get them food, whatever you need. The big thing that I did, I have really good penmanship. Okay. So sound editors have to fill out sheets and sheets and sheets of what we call cue sheets, the tracking logs, to tell the mixer who mixes the material later what is in the track that they are cutting. Mm-hmm. And you're talking hundreds of tracks, and each track having thousands of things added to it.
Yeah.
And me writing it on these cue sheets. This is, and I did that for so many guys, because they just love to have really nice cue sheets. And so, but in making cue sheets, that's when I started learning about how editorial works. How do you separate the sounds in the tracks? How do you lay out tracks that makes it easy for the mixer to mix together? And that's where I started. And I just met so many different people and kind of went towards the area of ADR, which is the dialogue, automated dialogue replacement is the correct term, ADR. And that is where on the set, the dialogue recording is ruined for all the different reasons that can be ruined. And you have to bring the actor back and redo that recording. And so I was very much interested in, there's actors involved, there's directors involved, there's writers involved. That's where I want to be. And, I loved acting in high school and all that. And so I can act, and I feel like I know how to talk to actors.
Yeah.
And that is a huge thing totally. in my career, was being able to relate to actors and talk with them and direct them, because a lot of directors don't come to the ADR stage. And so, I'm left with forming that performance with the actor, the re-recording. And so that's where I kind of shifted towards helping an ADR supervisor who worked at this little company. And pretty soon, things happened, and I was able to, kind of help her out, and and that's where it started.
I love it. I honestly, there's so much that we're going to ask you, but obviously we want to be respectful of your time. But hopefully this is a good teaser for people to kind of know what we're going to launch into during our actual time. And obviously we'll show some clips from Unbroken, and I can even pop a couple of screens up now. I know we had shown you this one when we popped in, and you laughed because you're talking about how this is like a completely fake constructed scenario. And I think, and I don't want to give too much away, but we'll talk about, I think you said it was close to a highway, actually. We'll talk about about all that during the scenario. But yeah, just being able, again, we'll focus on Unbroken, but we're not going to limit the conversation there, just so the audience knows, and we'll be open for questions and just great conversation and everything. Louis, did you have any final question you want to tease anybody with? Do you want to ask Becky about?
Oh, well, no. I mean, I'm trying to let's look at our notes.
I'll show some.
I mean, yeah, while we're talking about Unbroken, Becky, do you want to tell us a little bit about what it was like working on this film, or is there any things that you want to highlight or kind of tease about what we're going to talk about next week?
Well, my daughter had given me this book. She read it, and she gave it to me to read, the book Unbroken. Mm-hmm. And I'd worked with Angelina Jolie before, and she called me and said, "Have you ever heard of this book Unbroken?" And I said, "Yes, I've read it. It's awesome." Nice. And she said, "Well, that's our next film." And to work on that film was a real highlight for me. But it was one of the toughest things I've ever done. And like I said about the recording of the actor on that film, 75% of the dialogue was ruined on the set.
I bet, man, because the water basically in the tank, and
water, B-24,
I forgot about that. Yeah,
everything. There's everything in the world you can think of, and I can explain later, that would ruin recordings, and then you've got to get all those actors back, and that was a challenge.
Man, speaking of your daughter, you actually have a podcast with your daughter, correct? And let me see if I can pull it.
So one works in theater and one works in television, and it's awesome. The three of us have a podcast called Circle Take 3.
I love it, and I think definitely everyone should go check that out. Hear some stories. Because obviously, you've got, The King and the Prince, Field of Dreams. I mean, it goes way beyond what our discussion is going to be. Just avoid the Unbound or the Unbroken one now.
It's not on there. Haven't recorded anything for Unbroken.
Awesome. Awesome. So we'll do that. But yeah, definitely check that out, guys, and get to know a little bit more about Becky and her career and all the cool films she's worked on in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, like you saw, there's like over 175 credits. That's super awesome. And and for anyone who doesn't know, the reason we targeted this film to discuss is because Becky was nominated for an Oscar for this film. So she got to go to the Academy Awards that year, and I'm sure she'll tell us more about that at Movie Club. But yeah, I've heard some of these stories. I'm so excited for the Waco public to hear some of these stories. I think it's it's so interesting to hear about the behind the scenes stuff. And then I can't wait for everyone to hear about all the things that she had to do to overcome that water and the actors and, all the things that make a film difficult to do.
It's fun. It's fun. It's a lot of fun stories, a lot of hard work.
Yeah. And to answer the question, I know that's going to come from some people is, will we stream that live Q&A? No, it's in person. Come join. So it's going to be an exciting time. So we're definitely happy to have everyone there.
Very cool. Hey, Samuel, I'm putting you on the spot again. If you want to pull up our website, you could show folks how to get their tickets. It is a free event, but it is limited seating. So we do recommend that you go ahead and claim your seats. This is one of those opportunities too. There we go. Your event.
So, obviously, you go to our page, you go to events, you click in, and like Louis said, it's pretty simple. We have the link to click for tickets. Again, free.
But if you are motivated to donate, we'd love for that to happen too. So once you click that, it'll say donate what you can. And if it's zero, totally get it. Totally understand. But if you want to throw a few dollars away, it'll help us pay the rental for the venue, and it'll help us pay for the film festival that's coming up in July.
Yeah, we're a 501c3. This is all We don't make a profit from this. Sometimes we never make a profit.
Sometimes
it's all passion for us, just like it is for a lot of people. But we want to make sure people that do work for us are taken care of, and that obviously our vendors and our caterers and all that are taken care of too.
Exactly. All right. Well, Becky, I'm so excited to have you involved with this project, this event. It is next week. It is April 11th at 7:30 p.m. It's at the Texas Music Cafe, which is a different location. We try to spread the love and show different things at different places. We love that venue because it's really great for sound and music. And I know that you'll be bringing your computer out there and kind of like pulling up clips and kind of layering and unlayering things so you kind of hear how things will be built with sound. And so I'm excited for everyone to experience that. And check out our website, check out Becky's podcast.
Definitely.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, thank you so much, Becky. Until then, we'll see you guys next week. And I'm looking for the outro. So we're going to end the stream now and see you guys on Friday. Bye.
See you
next Friday.
Bye.
Bye.